Samuel's out front. He knows where to take you.
Are you serious right now, Harry? You cannot be serious.
The gray one is your overnight bag. Make sure you don't leave it.
I am not leaving. Harry, look at me. Look at me.
I see you, Regina.
Then act like it. You're standing here packing my bags like I'm I'm a hotel guest you're checking out. After everything we've been through?
You're not a hotel guest.
Then why are you doing this?
Because you slept with someone else.
And I told you that. I came to you. I sat across from you and I poured my heart out because I trusted you, Harry. Because you told me, you looked me in my eyes and you told me that honesty would matter. That you could forgive me. That's all you have to say? I have been crying for 3 days straight, Harry. 3 days. I have not slept. I have barely eaten. I have been walking around feeling like the worst human being on the planet because I love you and I made a terrible mistake and I came to you honestly like you asked me to, and you are standing here checking your watch like I'm an appointment you're trying to reschedule.
Sit down, Regina.
I don't want to sit down.
Sit down. You want to talk about that conversation?
You promised me, Harry. You promised me that if I was honest.
I lied.
What?
That conversation, every word of it, I lied.
I'm sorry. What did you just say to me?
You heard me.
No, because what I heard was my boyfriend of 6 months telling me that he looked me dead in my face and lied to me deliberately. And I need you to tell me that is not what you just said, Harry. Because if that is what you just said, then I am about to lose my mind in this living room.
Then you might want to stay seated.
It was intentional, calculated. I meant none of it.
Oh my God. Oh my, you set me up.
I had a suspicion. I needed to know if it was right.
A suspicion? He had a suspicion. So instead of talking to me like a normal person, like a partner, you decided to lay a trap? Like some kind of emotional spider.
An emotional spider.
Don't you dare almost smile right now, Harry. Don't you dare.
3 months in, I noticed things, small things. The way you carried yourself around other men, the way your phone was never face up, nothing I could take to court, just instinct.
So your instinct gave you the right to manipulate me?
I didn't manipulate you into doing anything, Regina.
You manipulated me into confessing.
You confessed because you wanted a safety net.
I just needed to know whether you'd been looking for one.
That is the coldest thing anyone has ever said to me.
When I said it that night, early on, I watched your face. You didn't look relieved that we were being open with each other.
You looked relieved the way someone looks when they find out the fire exit is right down the hall.
You don't know that. You don't know what I was thinking.
I know what I saw.
Harry, I love you. Doesn't that count for anything? I have never in my life felt about anyone the way I feel about you. And yes, I made the worst mistake of my life, and yes, I would take it back in a heartbeat. I would take it back in half a heartbeat if I could, but I came to you. I chose you. Doesn't that mean anything?
It means you got scared. And when you're scared, you come to me. I understand that.
But a faithful woman doesn't get scared like that, Regina. Not like that.
I can't believe this is happening.
I genuinely cannot believe this is happening right now. This is not my life. This cannot be my life.
Samuel's been waiting 15 minutes. He's patient, but it's a Tuesday night.
So that's really it. You're really doing this.
It's already done.
You know what the most insane part of all of this is? You're the one who lied. You sat across from me and deliberately lied to my face. And somehow I'm the one leaving with my bags packed.
You're leaving because of what you did at that party, not because of what I said on a couch 6 months ago.
I am so sorry, Harry. I mean that. From the bottom of everything I have, I am so sorry.
I know you are.
My life is over, Diane. Hello to you too. I need you to just sit here and let me talk, because if I don't say this out loud to another human being, I am going to absolutely combust. Okay, I'm here. Talk. Okay, so you know Harry. I know Harry. You know how when we first started dating, like right at the beginning, we had that really deep conversation about cheating?
What about it?
He told me, he looked me straight in my eyes and he said,
If you tell me and it only happened once, I think I could forgive you.
And I held on to that.
And he looked me straight in my eyes and he said, if something ever happens, I need to know right away.
Diane, I held on to it because it made me feel like we were being real with each other, you know? Like we had this foundation of honesty. There was a company party a couple weeks ago.
Okay.
I slept with a coworker. Regina!
I know. You don't have to say it. I have been saying it to myself every single day since it happened. I have never felt so disgusting in my entire life.
I cried in a Starbucks bathroom, Diane, a Starbucks. Oh, honey. But then that conversation with Harry kept coming back to me over and over, and I thought, okay, he said honesty matters. He said he could work through it. So a couple nights ago, I sat him down and I asked if he remembered what he said. And then I told him everything. How did he react? He went stone cold. Like a robot. And I'm behind him the whole time begging, sobbing, reminding him of what he said. And? He laughed. On the phone later, this dry, quiet little laugh, and then he told me he never meant a single word of it. That the whole thing was a test. That he suspected I might cheat, and he engineered that entire conversation to make sure I'd come clean if I ever did.
He engineered it.
Said when he told me he'd forgive me, he watched my face, and he saw relief. And that was enough for him. Regina, was he wrong? No, he wasn't wrong. So now what? He's done. Completely done. Sat me down tonight and explained the whole thing like he was presenting a PowerPoint. Said he noticed things 3 months in. The way I looked at other men, the way I held my phone. And I understand it, I do. I broke something and I own that with everything in me. But he lied to me too, Diane. He deliberately built something false and I believed it, and maybe—
I know, Regina, it's okay.
Maybe if he had never said any of that in the first place, I never would have—
I'm sorry, can you say that last part again?
I said maybe if he had never— Nope. Hold on. Did you just say that if he had never promised to forgive you, you never would have cheated? Well, when you say it like that, how else is there to say it? You cannot make this up. You genuinely cannot make this up. This woman, my best friend, sitting on my couch in my apartment, she said, if he had never promised forgiveness, I never would have stepped out. Do you hear yourself? It sounds worse out loud. It sounds insane out loud, Regina. It sounds absolutely insane. I know. I love you. You are my best friend. But baby, you just told me the emergency exit sign made you want to set the building on fire. That is a terrible analogy. Is it wrong, though? No.
A woman who never planned on cheating doesn't hear "I'll forgive you" and feel relieved that she forgets you ever said it.